Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Version One, a podcast where interesting people come to talk about their creative processes, imposter syndrome, inspiration, failures along the way, and much more. I'm your host, Waverly, and you can follow the show on Instagram at Version One Podcast and subscribe to our Substack, Version One Podcast.substack.com. And you can also find me on buymeacoffee.com/Waverly Colville if you want to support the show. You can listen to this episode normally or head over to YouTube to watch the video version and leave us a nice review wherever you're listening to this. All right, everybody, I am here with my guest this week, Madina Akavova. She is the founder and furniture designer at Uneven. Madina, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me here. So exciting.
Yes, I'm so excited to talk to you. Furniture design is not something that I really know about, so I'm so excited to learn about your process. Your pieces are so unique and really cool, so I'm so excited to jump into all of that with you. Could we just start out with having you introduce a little bit about yourself to the audience?
Yeah, sure. Happy to do that. So, as you said, like my name is Madina and I'm a founder of Uneven. It's a design-driven furniture brand based in Spain. I used to have a corporate career in operations and industrial production, but about 1 year ago, I decided to start my own business, combining the industrial knowledge I have and this new creative side of me that I just discovered not long ago. So yeah, now building it as a solo founder from the ground up.
That's awesome. When you were a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Uh, okay, so you're going to make fun of me, okay? Because when I was a child, I wanted to become a president.
No, I think that's a
That's
lot of kids' dreams is to be president.
yeah. Okay, but I had my motivation, like my reason for it. So I always had a lot of empathy, and I still have. And I just saw so much unfairness and inequality like in the world. So I it was heartbreaking for me. So I knew that I wanted to do something to change it. um of course, like growing and becoming older, I realized that it's not something that you can do as easy as I would imagine it being a child. And then I think I got my first computer and got my internet connection, and I found all these incredible stories about mainly American companies, like different businesses, different entrepreneurs. And I got so curious about it. And I knew that that's something that makes me really like happy. Imagine myself being a businesswoman, right? So by the moment when I had to choose what to university to study, I found this program that was about business management that was not common at all, like at that time. And I just knew that like I want to do it. So my family actually was a bit scared because because it was very common to apply for several universities or even like several different faculties. But as this program was not common, and I was so confident that that's the only one thing I want to study, like I applied for it and I got accepted. So I never regretted it. And then I did my MBA, which is like again business management. So I think my dream was always to be a business person, like business woman.
Yeah, absolutely. And where did you grow up, Medina?
Oh, in a very small town in West Siberia. It calls Raduzhny, like Rainbow City.
Wow.
Um, it's it's a very isolated place. Um, like I mean, my connection to the world and all this like knowledge about different companies was just thanks to the internet, because even like I think we didn't have any connection that much like to Moscow and like big cities.
Wow, that's really interesting. That sounds like a very unique childhood, especially to someone like I grew up in the United States, so I don't really meet a lot of people who grew up in Russia. So that sounds really cool. It also sounds very cold. Siberia's
Yeah,
stereo
it is.
sounds very cold, but I grew up in Buffalo, New York, which is also
Mm.
known as like a very cold city. So whenever I say I'm from Buffalo, people are like, "Oh my gosh, you must be free." And I was like, we had nice summers, but that's really, really cool. How was your journey? How did you get, because you're based in Madrid now. So
Now, yes.
Yeah, so what was your journey like from growing up in Russia to eventually ending up in Madrid and starting this furniture company? Like you talked about you were doing like business, you got your MBA. Is that what brought you eventually over to Spain?
Not exactly. Okay, so I did my university in Tumen, which is also like in Siberia, but like another city. Then I moved to Moscow because when I graduated from my university, I knew that okay, I want to work for an international company. I studied English. I was at that moment already like having some basics of Spanish language, and I knew that like the only thing you can do in Siberia is basically like oil and gas companies, and I was not interested. So I moved to Moscow, and my first job was in a metal processing company. And I just was in love with it, like with the process, with machines, with like the whole production, manufacturing process. Then my client, one of my clients, it was a Spanish company. They invited me to work with them. So I started my career at that company. So they were producing furniture, facades, and stock rooms for Inditex. So like it's the biggest Spanish company, right? That owns Zara, Zara Home, Massimo Dutti, etc. So I started as like purchasing manager, and then I became an operations director. So I was responsible for the whole production and like logistics, everything that was necessary to provide like these products for not only for Russia, but for post-Soviet Union countries. Like we work in many countries. And it was incredible experience. Again, I loved everything about production, but about manufacturing. But the products we were producing mainly were like industrial products. So it was not something you can put in your apartment, like, and to enjoy it, right? And I was feeling that I lack this like aesthetical part of the product I produce. Then I moved to Spain, and I decided to do my MBA. Like I was choosing between different programs, but then the MBA was like the best one for me, probably. And after MBA, I had a job in a tech company. And I knew from the very beginning that it's not going to work because uh, I'm curious about tech industry, like personally, but I can't imagine myself working in the industry, just like it's not my thing. Um, so I ended up in a very small Spanish company producing home furniture. And here, interesting thing happened because I found somehow like the combination of this like industrial part of the business and then like some aesthetics. And the company was very small, so I was able to learn like the basics of how to run a very small company because I used to work for bigger companies with a lot of resources, with money, with people, with international projects. And when you start your own business, if you don't have like huge investments, which I didn't have, I mean, you start small. You don't have all this. So it was a very valuable experience for me, and I got laid off. So I knew that okay, that's the moment. I was feeling that I was ready enough, and I didn't want to wait because if I don't do it now, like I will never do it. Like this feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. So getting that job at the furniture company and then getting
Mhm.
off from it inspired you to launch your own. That's really cool.
Yeah, I had this thoughts like before, but this was like the last thing, like that made me so confident about it.
Yeah, absolutely. What is it specifically about furniture that made you really fall in love with it?
Um, there are several things. First, like this combination, because I enjoy the process of production, but then I enjoy so much the result, right? So I see it and just like I get excited that the thing that I can produce something that I can personally use or my friends or my family. And then um yeah, I mean some kind of like being close to the product, like being its own consumer, right? So you know better like what do you want to have at your place. And my apartment is such an important place for me. Like I love my place. I like. it's the safest place for me, right? Like for everybody. I rest here, I spend a lot of time here. Now I work at home, I charge my batteries. I I can be myself. So for me, my home is the biggest thing for me. So I want it to be beautiful and to be comfortable and like for me to enjoy it. And I want my place also to somehow reflect my personality and my values, my taste. So yeah, that's something that defines my love to furniture.
I love that. And just based off like your website and the pieces that I've seen, I bet your apartment is so beautiful and funky and cool. And so, I wish I could see it. That sounds amazing. Could you describe Uneven and the work and the furniture that you designed to somebody who has never seen it before?
Okay, so it's a bolt furniture, and what I mean is that I usually use some ideas that are not common. For example, I love a lot to play with asymmetry, right? It's not common to do it, and not even in French. Like everything we produce is usually asymmetrical, right? And I got so bored, like I got so tired of it. So like now I try to. It can be not as evident as, for example, in our bench that is like super asymmetrical, right? But there is something about the symmetry always there. Then there are things about bold colors, for example. I use like using electric blue, right, like bright red. Like I love using colors. I think they bring some life to the space. Uh, I also try to like to question every time we produce a design, like we create a design. I try to question everything about it. So if we produce a chair, um, I question whether we need like four legs, so we can do two legs, one leg, or we can have no legs. I mean, we have just five designs so far, but I know that I have so many ideas for the future. So I always try, like, I always try to do something that it stands out, that attracts your attention and like evokes your curiosity about the item.
That's awesome. Yeah, you brought up asymmetry, which I noticed is something that you talk a lot about on your website, the
Yeah.
power of asymmetry. Could you tell me a bit more about why asymmetry is so powerful and why you love to use it in your work?
To be honest, I didn't know. I discovered it when we did our very first design, which was the bench. It was our first design with this design studio. So I remember I asked them like to design a bench for me, and I gave them like several ideas how I would like it to look like several references, and then they would send me like their several sketches. I didn't like any of them. Like I literally like I was just looking at them and thinking that okay, nothing works. We have to change everything. Then I spent some time. I get back to it like in one day, nothing changed. I got back to it in 1 week, and then I still don't like anything. But there is one design that I don't know why, but it attracts my attention. The only one. And I knew that the only thing I love about this design is the asymmetry it has. So I asked like the design studio and the designer like to continue working on it. So we polished a bit the idea, we changed many things, but this thing, this feature about asymmetry remained. And then I realized that I love things that are somehow like standing out. And I think it's a lot about my personality as well, because since I was a child, I didn't like to be like everybody, like if I know if everybody loved pink color, like all the girls love it, I would say that I love purple. Everybody like five, like as a number, because it was the highest grade in Russia at school. I would say no, eight. My favorite is eight. I don't know why I have it, like it's just a part of my personality. So it just happened with the first design we did, and it remained, and it became like one of the main features of the whole philosophy of the brand, and I love it. I don't think that you should put everything asymmetrical at your place. I think it's going to be too much. It's not going to look good. But when you can play with these like small details, right? It can be a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely. How do you think about balance when it comes to designing asymmetrical things? Because if something's symmetrical, right, it's just
Mhm.
automatically balanced because it's the same on both sides. But when you're working
Yeah.
and trying to do like really cool, like asymmetrical things, how do you like, yeah, how do you balance the piece if that makes sense?
Mm. Yeah, it's hard, and I don't know if you can properly balance it because still we are not used for symmetry. So when you look first at this design, it always makes you feel somehow strange about it. Like you think that okay, it lacks something, right? Like I mean, it's not complete. But then you get used to it a bit and you find beauty in it. But I don't know if you can balance it because the whole idea is about not having this balance, right? So I just think because for me now it's easy as I'm used to work with it. I see it every day. So I got used to this idea. But probably for somebody who see it for the first time, they can say that, okay, it's ugly, I don't like it. But I mean, you have to get used to it. That's what I think.
Yeah, for sure. Could you talk to me about what the design process actually looks like for you?
It's a bit chaotic. Because but and also because it combines like business part, right, and then the creative side of it. So first I have to decide like business wise what I want to produce and what item I like in my collection, or I see that something is becoming very like popular in the market, so I want to create something like this. um then I give very detailed explanation of how I see this item to the design studio because I'm not a designer myself, so I'm more a visionary. But I cannot design myself, right? So I give like a very detailed explanation of what I want to see, what I don't want to see. I give references, so whatever I can find, even if it's like a small detail I love in any design, I show it. And then I also give comments if I have, and usually I do have some limitations from the production point of view, because like I have a very small project and my providers are not like huge companies, right? So I cannot produce whatever we will design. No, it's not my case. So I need to take into account that, okay, this I can produce and this I can't. And that's everything, like I explain it to the design studio and then we start working on it. So they would come up with some sketches with different ideas. I would choose some of them that I like, or if I don't like the whole idea, at least I will like some small details, and then we'll continue working on it. Some designs take a lot of time, and it's a lot of work because there is one chair actually, Tacto. It gains a lot of attention now, and like all the designers are asking about it. So it may be like very popular item at the end. We just started to sell it now. And this item took us so much time, and I didn't like it till the last moment because at the last moment we changed one thing, and then I said, okay, now I like it. Now it's something that yeah, I'm happy with. So yeah, it's a working team with the design studio, and they know me a bit now, like after 5 designs, so they know what I like and what I'm looking for.
Gotcha. It sounds like a very collaborative process, which is really cool.
It is, it is, yeah, absolutely. I
How
would not be able to do it by my own.
Yeah, totally. How long does it take and how much like back and forth of like, you come up with a concept and send the inspiration and the ideas, they come up with sketches and then you tweak things. Like how much back and forth is there involved and how long does it take?
Mhm. I think on average it's maybe 2 months usually, just like the design and like the drawings without producing a sample and then like adjusting everything. And it depends a lot on my how quick I am with my comments and with my reactions, because they cannot continue working before they get any kind of feedback from me. So yeah, I would say 2 months and a half on average, and then we'll have to produce a sample, and then we'll have to adjust drawings because usually we cannot produce it 100% the same way as we design it, so we have to like adjust. So yeah, and like production of samples takes a lot of time usually. So the whole process lasts like half a year probably. I try not to design like too complicated things for now, to reduce this timeline because I don't have half a year for each design right now. Yeah, I mean we're doing our best, but the design itself is 2 months and a half.
Yeah, absolutely. Where would you say that you source a lot of your inspiration from?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Um, I think there are two main sources probably. I would say it's traveling and art, and better if it's solo traveling and solo art experiencing, if you can call it this way. Um, because I believe that when you travel alone by your own, you pay so much more attention to everything around you, and you're not getting distracted by somebody else's opinion about it. Or like even when I travel with friends, we discuss many things, not only the things we see. So in the end, you lose so much. And okay, like trips with friends can be nice, but if you look for an inspiration, I think the best is to go alone. And my last highlights were my trip to Marrakesh. It was incredible. I think Marrakesh is just the place that any creative mind should go. And then I went to Seoul, South Korea. It was a solo trip as well. And it was everything about design, about beauty, like interesting coffee shops, interesting brands, interesting like merchandising, marketing, everything around like businesses. It was so inspirational, like both trips. And then art for me is very important. Like when I go to museums, like for art exhibitions, I also prefer to go alone because then again, my focus is only here. I can get a better understanding of art. I can like spend much time with it, right? I think these two things are like the most important for me in terms of where I get my inspiration.
Okay, I love that because I am a big solo traveler as well.
All right.
I took my first solo trip when I was 20 years old, and I've been like addicted to it ever since. And one of my favorite places in the world that I've traveled solo is Marrakesh. So when you brought that up,
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, holy shit, I fucking love Marrakesh.
Great.
It's so beautiful. It's so colorful. It's like such a deeply
Yeah,
sensory
I
experience.
agree.
A way, like I feel like it's so different than like America for obvious
Hmm.
reasons, but it's like a totally different like sensory experience that's very hard to explain if you haven't been there, especially from an American like perspective because it's so different and it's so beautiful and colorful and like you could smell the spices walking through the Medina and it's just like I also think it's one of my favorite places. So when you brought that up, I was like,
Have
ah.
you, have you been to other cities in Morocco? Only Marrakesh.
So when I was in Morocco, it was only for like 4 or 5 days. I
Mm.
did leave Morocco, but I went into the desert. So not, I didn't go
Oh.
to like any of the other like big Marrakesh or sorry, big Morocco cities. Like I didn't go to Fez or any of the other big cities that I would really or like Tangier. Like, I would love to go to I
Mm.
really want to go back to Morocco because I think Marrakesh was amazing and I want to see more of the country. But I didn't go to any other cities. I did like a 3 day like desert excursion thing.
Yeah, I did the same because I was alone and like it's not the safest place to travel being a woman
hmm
around the country. So that's why I would love to go like to be back again, but with some friends, so we can travel and explore the whole country because it's so beautiful.
Girl, I'll come. I'll go with you.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah.
mean Morocco is very close to Spain. It's like I know I fly from my flight was from Malaga, so it was like 1 hour, but from Madrid, okay, maybe like 3 hours. It's still nothing.
So easy.
Mm.
Awesome. Yeah, I feel like from New York it'd probably be like 6 or 7 hours. That's easy. Like 6, 7 hours. That's
Yeah,
not at all.
yeah,
Awesome.
it's nothing.
Well, I love that travel and art has really influenced your designs. And you can definitely tell because, like you talked about earlier, there's a lot of different colors and patterns and shapes.
Yeah.
It's really cool. What are sort of the later stages of the process? So like once you get, the back and forth with the designers and then you
Mhm.
do, I'm sure, some back and forth with like samples and like once you have a chair or like a bench or a table that you're happy with, like what are the next steps? What happens after that?
Okay, so we adjust the drawings if necessary. Usually, like you have some like small things to adjust, and then we do like final visualizations because most often we use not photos but visualizations. And then that's it. Like you can start selling, like being absolutely confident about like the product and like about how you present it because I mean you show this right the picture to the client. So that's basically it's one of the most complicated parts for me right now. But yeah, then it just like business development. So you need to find architects and interior designers who are going to like and order this item for their projects.
Awesome. And what are your favorite materials to use in your designs?
Still, I know that. I mean, for somebody who is not in the furniture industry, it will be probably like sounding weird still, because I don't think we use very often like metal furniture at home, right? But there is a lot of like furniture made with steel, and it's my favorite material. Like I have a lot of experience with it. I started my career with like metal processing, and I just love it. And I love how stainless steel looks like. It's so beautiful. Like I just think it's the most beautiful thing in the world. But not all of my designs are done with like steel. Some of them are just like wood. Like I have different things. I would love to work with glass, mm, but we don't have any design yet with it. I think it's next step for me. Yeah, now I like a lot textile, like upholstery, because I think if when it's um beautiful and like good quality. It's like it's you love how like when you touch it, it matters so much. Like in particular for things like sofa or chair or bench, like it's very important to have some good upholstery. And I love velvet as well, and like I love many things.
Yeah, absolutely. And your furniture, which for those listening who have not seen your work, I highly suggest going on your Instagram and your website because it's very beautiful and cool and very unique and it's hard to describe. But I was curious, so yeah, anyone listening, please go look at Madina's work. But I was curious because your furniture designs are so cool and like very aesthetic and, beautiful. But there's also like the element of furniture you have to take into account, like ergonomics, right? And like
Mhm,
comfort and function. So, how do you sort of like balance these two priorities when it comes to designing
mhm.
furniture?
Oh, first, thank you for saying that. I really appreciate because like it's my child, so I'm really happy when somebody likes it. Mm. So as for ergonomics and other things, usually it's on design studio because they are specialized on product design. And actually the one I'm working right now, and I'm very happy with them, they're specialized on furniture design. So they have a lot of knowledge, a lot of expertise, and of course there are some small details that you have to figure out when you produce the sample, right? But it's like small things, but the general idea and the general like rules, it's on them to follow it. So like from this point of view, like it's their work to be done.
Gotcha, gotcha. Okay, cool. And then something that I saw on your website that really caught my eye is you say each piece is designed to disrupt, provoke, and inspire. Through Uneven, I explore how design can go beyond function and become a form of identity and emotion. There's a lot there, so I really want to break that down because those sentences really spoke to me, and I was like, oh, that's like a really interesting way to describe what you do. So
Mhm.
start to break it down. So the first part, each piece is designed to disrupt, provoke, and inspire. How do your pieces disrupt, provoke, and inspire? Could you explain that to me?
Okay, so I think when you see something like so boldly asymmetrical, it provokes you because it's saying, look, hey, I'm not like everything else, right? Everything you've seen before or everything you are used to see and that is common. And of course, it provokes you. It provokes you, like you to think about it and to decide whether you like it or not, whether you can have this kind of piece at your place or like it's too much for you. It inspires you. For me, the inspiration comes from two things. First, that this furniture is not afraid of standing out, right? So it gives you the same idea and the same like thoughts that okay, why would I like be afraid of standing out, right? Like I'm unique and I want to show it and I want to keep it like I don't want to be like everybody else. Um, because we are not. And then what inspires me a lot is the color. That's why we do different designs. Of course, we do some neutral colors as well, but we focus on colors that make your space alive, that may attract your attention and make you feel happier. Because in my case, when I see something colorful, it makes me feel happier. Like I love it. I don't like I can not imagine myself living in a neutral design, like having everything like beige or gray. It's like a nightmare for me. I love these colors as like main like base colors, right? But then I need these pops up of like bright colors. So I think like in my case it inspires me. So I hope it works the same for other people.
Yeah, absolutely. I think because your pieces are so unique, it's easy to see
Mm.
them and get inspired by them because I think that it could be harder to get inspired by a couch from IKEA, let's say, because they're very no hate to IKEA. I love IKEA, but
Yeah, yeah,
they
I
are
love it too.
they're meant to be basic, and so
Yeah.
it doesn't really challenge your eye or challenge your way of thinking like your pieces that are very unique do. So I think it's easy to draw inspiration from your pieces. So I love that. Moving on to like the second part, you say through uneven, I explore how design can go beyond function and become a form of identity and emotion. I'm curious, what emotions do you hope people feel when they see and interact with your pieces?
Mhm. Okay, I can use an example like our last design, our table. We have only one table so far, but I absolutely love it because if you like pay attention and if you see like their legs, for example, they look the same, but they are not. So they have like a bit different shape, and it looks like just somebody like I know draw it like without like direct lines or measurements. So it looks like a child like just did it like with materials he had with him, or the tabletop like it has a regular form. So it everything looks like you just had it in your mind, you just took some materials and just created it. You didn't pay that much attention to have it everything regular, everything symmetrical, doing everything like the right way, like everybody would do it. And again, I think looking at these designs, you get this mood, like creative mood of creating something and not thinking about to follow the common path, follow the rules everybody is following. You can do something you enjoy and you don't need to think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wanted to go back to something we talked a little bit about in the beginning, but I'm so curious
Hmm.
because you have a very unique background of growing up in Siberia and then now living
Okay.
abroad in Spain, and those are very different places, right? And so
Yeah, sure.
I'm curious, how does your background influence your design eye?
There are different sides of it. And I think it can be somehow beneficial for me because, if you spend like those people who spend like the whole life in the same industry, like producing chairs, like, I think they live in kind of a bubble and they can look at it from like another angle. But what happens often is that when like somebody comes to a new industry bringing knowledge from other industries, they can see something that other people don't see. So I hope that I will be able to to have this like new angle, to the industry. And maybe at some moment I will come up with an interesting idea. It may be not about like design or furniture itself, but maybe something around. So I think somehow it can help me. Um, from another side, it brings some limitations because I always work in operations and in business management. So of course, I always think about how to produce it, how to make it efficient, how to organize my operations around it, how to make this work, and how to make it selling to the clients. Because I'm not an artist. I'm not creating something just in the sake of creating it. Yes, because it's part of my business and I need to sell it. So I always think about it, but I don't know if it's a constraint or if it's a good thing in the end for because like I was talking to some designers and they were telling me that sometimes when they collaborate with like very famous designers, they can come up with very interesting and innovative designs, but then they struggle to produce it. They're not able to produce it. So um I hope that somehow my background is helping me actually um to find this balance between creativity, beautiful design, bold design, but then at the same time to have it affordable for the market, to have opportunities to produce it and to sell it, because that's the end, an important thing for me. I cannot live without creating designs without selling them.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. What would you say is the most challenging part of your work?
Mm, the most challenging part was and it is to get attention of like furniture industry, like okay, from attention of professionals, because my business model is focused on architects and interior designers because they are spoiled. There are so many great companies with history, with impeccable designs. Um, we like operations and everything. I mean, they work around the world, so they have resources and great designs, and to get attention of these like architects who are very spoiled already with designs, it's not an easy thing. So I'm happy that we got presented on Archi products. It's the best, like the biggest community and like platform and the biggest sponsor, I think, of Milano Furniture Fair, Immobile. So we are there, so we got a lot of attention of like professionals. And then what I do now, I already applied for one award, Archi Products Design Award with our Tacto chair. I'm planning to apply this month for IF Design Award and maybe for Red Dot because I mean my furniture is high-end furniture, so it's not cheap. And then to get attention of these kind of architecture studios, you need to be in like at a particular level. So I think these awards, if we win any in the end, and if we are at least shortlisted, is going to give us a lot of visibility, and it's going to help a lot with business development. Because I mean, it's already working, but I need to get more like traction, for the business side.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, best of luck on those rewards. I hope
Thank you.
that you win and a lot of people find out about your company through those awards and all of that because they're definitely deserving of rewards.
Yeah, I'll be happy.
Do you think there's anything that you wish people knew about furniture design if they're not in the furniture industry? You know what I mean? Like, is there anything, do you think there's any misconceptions or just things that you wish people knew more about?
Mm, Like the most common thing I see, because I see every day many interior designs because like that's my work. And there is one thing that always upsets me is that there are so many grayish design. Grayish, I mean gray and beige. That's the new name for it. And they just look the same.
Mhm.
They look safe somehow, but they look like I mean, you never know who is living there because you can imagine anybody there. Like it doesn't show you anything about this person. Um, and I know that like if you want to have like a good design piece of furniture at your place, sometimes it costs. Of course, it costs much more than IKEA furniture. I don't mean it. I mean that you can make your place so much different by using small decorations, but using a small, like a lamp, small picture. There are so many things you can buy now, and they have colors, they have interesting forms. They make your place unique. They make your place somehow like reflecting your personality. And I know for me, just sad to see like all these designs that look the same. Mm, I think for me it's the main problem because then it's a matter of taste, right? Like what kind of interior design you like. Um, but this thing is, I think it's very easy to change it. Like, I mean, to buy a candle or a painting or to paint something by own, it doesn't cost you almost anything, but it makes it so much different. So that's something I would love for people to know and like to start doing at their places.
Totally. What are, oh, sorry, my dog was barking. What are the elements that make a good piece of furniture good?
Well, of course, it has to be comfortable. It depends on the kind of furniture you're working on because there are many brands that work on the level that it can be a collectible furniture or it can be an art furniture. It means that, okay, it's a piece of furniture, but you will never sit on it, right? I mean, that's something that you have to put either like a museum piece or just to put at your place, but you're not going to use this chair for like I don't know, dining table or this bench or this sofa. But that's another level. I'm not working on that one. I'm working on something that is between, so something that is still serves as furniture and used for it. But it's elegant and interesting, beautiful. So it has to be comfortable for sure. I've seen so many chairs that are not comfortable. Like you cannot spend 1 hour sitting on them. Like it doesn't make any sense, right? If you buy a dining chair, like you need to be able to spend like several hours. In particular, here in Spain, for example, if you have a lunch or a dinner with your friends, with your family, 3 hours. So you need to have something that comfortable. So it has to be comfortable, but it has to be, I know it has to be like not maybe not beautiful, but somehow attractive and like making you feel good about it. I mean, maybe it's me because I love aesthetics. Like I love everything to be beautiful. Maybe it's me that's crazy about it. But that's my two things. So it has to be comfortable and it has to look good. Either way, like I personally, I don't want it for my place.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you ever experienced imposter syndrome?
Oh yeah, unfortunately, more often than I would like to. um, I have it happening to me less often now. But it was very strong at the very beginning, and I think it was provoked by the fact that my business was like everything was new for me, right? So it was my first business, and it is still. I didn't have an experience. I had huge experience as business manager, but it's not the same. And then the industry was new for me because the company I worked for before, they produced home furniture, but it was cheaper. The designs were not like unique. So the client was different, the prices were different, designs were different. So basically, when I started with these designs, I started from scratch. When I realized whom I'm going to compete with, like when I saw all these Italian brands in Milan, I was feeling so bad. Like I was feeling like how I'm going to compete with them. Like there is no way. And to be honest, these big companies, they don't compete anymore on designs. The design is always impeccable. Like that's true. No doubts about it. But then they compete on the level of technology. They compete on the level how they process materials. They look for new materials. They invent new materials. So I was looking at them thinking, like, there is no way for me to do that. Like, the only thing I have and I can compete now is on the level of design, and I'm not even in designing myself. So, like, the imposter syndrome I had at that moment, that it was just horrible. Um, yeah, but somehow, like, working on the project, it got better, and I think I got more knowledge about the industry, and I got some great feedback from customers because, of course, my friends are all saying that it's beautiful and everything, but I mean, the feedback you get from customers, from your potential clients, is the most important one. So I think little by little, I got some confidence, and now it happens sometimes, it hits me, but I would say that it's not that harsh anymore, probably. Like, I'm able to manage it now.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad that it's become easier for you for sure. What are some of the things that you do for self-care or to get you out of any sort of like if you're experiencing negative thoughts or imposter syndrome,
Mhm.
things like that? What are some things you do?
Mm, I think for me, what works the best is to stay busy with something. And it can be different things. It can be exercising. It can be to clean my place. It helps a lot, like like to do some physical work. It can be just to sit down and work and like not allow yourself to get deeper into those like thoughts. Just distract yourself because you cannot think about two different things at the same time, right? So I push myself to sit and do some work. Of course, at these moments, I'm not able to come up with any creative ideas or like strategical things because like I'm upset and like I know that I feel bad. But what I can do at least is some administrative tasks. Like I can do something about accounting or like something that doesn't need that much creativity or something like that, but I stay busy. So that works so well for me. Then if I'm super sad, I can just go and sleep. It helps me a lot. So next day I wake up and I just continue working. But there are moments when I just need to get distracted from it, somehow. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Who is your dream client?
Oh, great question. I mean, there are many architecture studios I love, and I'm not working with them so far. And I know that I need to get to some level, like to get their attention. And again, maybe it will happen with awards if we win anything. Like, who knows? We'll see. Like, I'm working on it. Um, but it's those studios that work on like really interesting and unique projects. Like, these kind of people like who want their place to be unique and like yeah, just to attract attention. I have I have many in my mind, like I cannot um define one probably. But yeah, I'm going there on the way.
Yeah, for sure. What are some things that you haven't done yet with Uneven that you want to in the future?
Mm, I'm thinking a lot about art and how I can combine these like two ideas, furniture and art. I don't want to produce art furniture, but maybe I can create, like I can collaborate, do something by my own as an artist in the future around art. Because it brings me so much inspiration. Like I love it so much. I'm curious about it. But I don't know yet whether I'm going to do it because mm, yeah, I will see it like later on. I'm open for different ideas. And also like when I was thinking about the branding and the naming, um like a naming was used on purpose. And I knew that I don't want to limit myself to uneven objects, which is like furniture. And I kept this idea of creating maybe some uneven experiences. So something that's going to be life changing, something exceptional. Um, that's my ideas for the future. Let's see how it goes and where it brings me. Like now my focus is on furniture, but I would love to do something more about it because I know that I want my life to be bright and I want other people to have the same experience, like to have happy and full of emotions and events, like different things.
Yeah, well, that sounds really cool to wait to see what direction you take everything in. That sounds really exciting.
Thank
What
you.
would you say is one of your biggest lessons that you've learned through this experience of founding a furniture company and running it and whatnot?
Hmm. Mm, um, I would say so far it would be not to doubt yourself. And I don't mean not doubt your or challenge your ideas because that's different. Because I think that your art can transform, your business model can change. Today I'm selling chairs, tomorrow I'm selling, sofas. Today I work for Spanish market, tomorrow I work for Australian market. It doesn't matter. But what matters is that whatever you do, there is one part that is always there, and it's you and your confidence. And you should never doubt that you are good enough. That's already a lot. You are good enough, and you are able to make it work. And again, it doesn't matter what direction it takes in the end because it can change. It's absolutely fine. It's natural, but you have to believe in yourself and not to doubt it. Like that's. I regret that I doubted a lot myself at the beginning. Now I try not to do it because it doesn't help you. It actually ruins your mood and ruins your motivation and your confidence. Yeah, there is nothing good about it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really important lesson for sure. What would you say is your definition of success?
Mm, it's a tricky question. I think it's very personal, right? So like everybody would have its own definition. So mine would be to stay passionate, like to do something that you feel excited about and like gives you that passion because I'm this kind of person who cannot live without it. And once I have it, I'm the happiest. I have so much energy. Like I can like there is nothing impossible for me when I have it. So that's my one thing I really need to have. And then second thing to have my freedom, not to have anybody who can define what you can and what you cannot because I believe that I'm myself the only person who can define it for me. Um, so to be able to choose whom you work with, what you're doing, whom you live with, where you live with, what are your thoughts, what are your objectives, and like not to have any limitations to it. I think it's kind of the thing I also I cannot live without it. So when I was a child and my family would forbid me something, I would become so angry because I could not understand why somebody can forbid me anything. It's like and I'm still the same, okay. So for me the success would be to do something I'm passionate about and excited and to have freedom to do whatever I want and to choose whatever I want.
That's beautiful. That's wonderful. Medina, this has been so great. Are you ready to move into the lightning round?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, what is something new that you've tried lately?
You are going to be surprised, I think, but it was painting.
Painting, that's
Because, I
cool.
mean, yes. I mean, of course, I tried before when I was a child, right? I mean, we all did. I don't remember if I enjoyed being a child, but I didn't enjoy it when I was at school. Of course, it was a mandatory thing, right? Like a subject like art or painting. I know how they call it, but I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy. I was bad at painting, so um, I think I spent 2 weeks going to the painting courses, and I said, no, it's too boring. I'm not able to do that. So then I spent many years without painting. Like I didn't feel any motivation to do it, and as I never learned properly how to paint, I was like feeling like not confident, like imposter syndrome, right? I mean, what how I'm going to paint, and I never learn it. I'm not able to do it. And then maybe like 1 year ago, I got invited to one event where we were painting, and I enjoyed so much. We did with acrylic. Um, I enjoyed, and it was so different experience from what I had like being a child, like back to school. So I bought everything I need like for my place, and now from time to time I'm painting. I still don't know how to paint. Like everything I do is very abstract. And it's very often just about color. So my favorites now are electric blue and purple. And I just love to paint something like bright and like to put it on the shelves. I would like to learn more like how to paint, but like at this stage, I'm super happy that I'm just able to enjoy it. It's like it works like a meditation for me somehow, and like it's a great tool to disconnect or like like at your free time on the weekend.
I love that. That's amazing. Happy that you found a new creative outlet. That's really cool. And maybe one of
Yeah,
your paintings one day will like end up on a chair or a bench you design or something like that.
yeah, I would love to.
Fantastic. Well, do you have a lesson or a message that you want to share with listeners?
Yes, I do. I have several. Well, probably. I mean, what I mentioned before is to follow your passion, follow your dream. Um, Not to doubt yourself. And there is one thing that my therapist told me once, and I just love it. She said, Madina, don't be afraid of anything. Like that was the moment when I was starting my business. She said, don't be afraid of anything. So I want to advise everybody not to be afraid of anything, not to be afraid of a failure, not to be afraid of starting from scratch, not to be afraid of like pivoting, like, yeah, changing completely the idea you're working on, not to be afraid of not getting positive reviews, not to be not to be afraid of being judged by people. uh, I think we should all be afraid of not following our dreams and not being happy. That's the only thing we should be afraid of. The rest, it just doesn't matter. Like, don't let other people or like circumstances or any like doubts influence your mood and your confidence and like influence your life somehow.
Yeah, that's a very powerful message. Thank you for that, for sure. What
Thank
is
you.
one thing you wish you knew when you were first starting out?
Mm. I wish I knew that. Like first months, like when you start something new, I think it's you have to put the whole energy and attention to it and like all the time you have because these first months you are gaining so much knowledge about like the market, about the topic you explore. You talk to people, you visit events. So the only objective you have is to gain the knowledge. You will always have time like to create the product because for me it was a bit vice versa, and then I had to pivot, like, and to change the whole project. But also in my case, it was like I knew why I did that because I had this like mood of starting my own business, and I was afraid that if I wait, I will start doubting it and I will never do it. So I just used this moment, like to start, and then I have no way like to go back, right? Like I already started it. But if you have this time just to explore and to devote as much time as you can, um, because then you feel more confident, you get better understanding of like what you can do, and maybe you can avoid like these first mistakes. And I mean, of course, most probably you'll have to adjust, but not that much probably. So I wish I knew that I had to spend a bit more time on like market research and work a bit more in it because my first months were like a bit I started directly like producing furniture. And yeah, like I had to change everything in the end, the whole idea.
Awesome. Well, Medina, this has been so wonderful. I've really enjoyed learning about furniture, which is something that I had no idea about before. So this has been really cool to talk to you. And like I said before, I love your pieces. And yeah, I highly recommend everybody go check out your work. Where can people find you and check out your work and order some furniture from you and support you and all the things? Tell me.
Okay, thank you for kind words. And me personally, you can find on Instagram, Madina.Akavova, on LinkedIn if you want. And then my furniture you can find on unevenobjects.com or on Instagram, uneven.objects. So feel free to reach me out directly, whatever you need. And like I'm open for any kind of collaboration, so ideas. Like I'm super happy to do anything that is about design and like the whole industry.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Medina. Have a wonderful
Thank you.